lunch up here? I can open a snack bar.
Mark Wahlberg is a pilot who isn't who he says he is in Mel Gibson's latest directing job, Flight Risk, and one of few new movies I'll be reviewing this week on CJ at the Movies, along with Cameron Diaz's return to acting, and new films directed by Steven Soderbergh and Walter Salles. I'm Christopher Zweig. Let's take a look. Our first movie is Flight Risk, the latest movie directed by Mel Gibson and telling the story of an accountant who is taken into federal custody and agrees to testify against a gangster he works for on trial. Topher Grace is that accountant, while Michelle Dockery is the federal marshal who must escort him on a shabby plane from Alaska to New York for the trial, and Mark Wahlberg is their pilot, who is not who he says he is. In fact, he's on that gangster's payroll, assigned to take out the witness.
Moretti's very disappointed in you, Winston, and he wants you dead.
The rest of the movie becomes so trivial that they fight back against him and tie him up, while they try to make contact for a safer landing, since neither one of them knows how to fly the plane.
Tell me how to fly this thing, or we will die out here.
Clearly, you've mistaken me for somebody who actually gives it.
Wahlberg looks convincing as the villain, especially since he shaved a portion of his hair instead of wearing a bald cap, but most of Flight Risk suffers from too much turbulence. There are cliches, plot twists, one-liners, and wisecracks which start to wear out their welcome, and the movie seems too scared to take any chances with the story, and it's all too run-of-the-mill to be a Gibson-directed hit. But here's something that isn't run-of-the-mill. In fact, it's a ghost movie directed by Steven Soderbergh called Presence, which tells the story of a dysfunctional family who move into a new house, where a ghost is able to make contact with one of them. It's told from the point of view of the spirit and makes contact with the daughter Chloe, played by Kalina Liang. Lucy Liu and Chris Sullivan play her parents, while Eddie Mayday plays her jerky, athletic brother Tyler. While the father believes her, the mother is in question, and the brother treats her like she's crazy. Presence, written by David Cope, is quite absorbing when we see how the spirit walks around the house and what he or she wants, and there's an aftermath to it, which isn't just about the special effects, but also about the very nature of what unfolds here. The performances from the cast are excellent, especially with their conversations and arguments, which are honest and consistent, and Soderbergh directs the film as a ghost movie on a smaller scale, but there's certainly a lot more than what Wolfman offered us last week. I'm not sure how moviegoers will take it this weekend, but trust me, it's wiser than some of the crap we've been given lately. And speaking of which, our next movie is Back in Action, which is Cameron Diaz's first movie in a decade, and while it's already a big hit on Netflix, it's still not the comeback vehicle we deserve. In fact, it's pretty tedious, as she and Jamie Foxx play secret agents and lovers who give up the life of espionage for the life of family and school drop-offs and all the necessary rules of raising teenage daughters, but they're called back in the game when Foxx holds a weapon that the bad guys covet.
What is going on?
We were operatives for the CIA.
Like Jason Bourne?
Yeah, but we remember stuff. Yeah.
Its most entertaining action sequence plays to the tune of James Brown's Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, and it has the right kind of lighting and energy, unlike the cliches the movie suffers from. Back in Action is one of Diaz's weakest efforts, along with the likes of Very Bad Things, The Other Woman, and What Happens in Vegas. She should have a comeback vehicle, but this movie is proof that she needs to put the 2000s behind her. But we can't put the past behind us with September 5, which is told from the point of view of the ABC sports crew who intend to cover the story of the 1972 Munich Olympic hostage crisis, and while it's not better than Steven Spielberg's Munich, it still offers the kind of thrills and acts like it's really taking place during this true event.
What's the situation?
The police are reporting that armed terrorists have attacked the Israeli athletes.
There's a hostage situation going on right now in the Olympic Village.
The cast in this movie includes Peter Sarsgaard as the broadcasting executive, John Magaro as the ambitious producer, Ben Chaplin as his mentor, and Leonie Benesch from the Teacher's Lounge as the German translator. And these performances are real and provocative, especially when timing is of the essence, and which studio gets to cover part of this horrific event first.
Whose story is that? Is it ours or is it theirs?
There could have been more coverage of what went down, and sometimes I feel the film is skittish in certain sections, but most of it is suspenseful with the pacing, editing, cinematography, and performances from the cast. September 5 uses the dialogue with the right productivity, and you're able to see how these people interact in the studio. It isn't rushed and it isn't forced. I think this set and these words have a lot in common in terms of its dramatization. And her last movie is I'm Still Here, which made Fernanda Torres the first Brazilian actress to win the Golden Globe for her portrayal of Eunice Paiva, who became an activist and a lawyer. She was also the wife of politician Rubens Paiva, who was taken by men during a military dictatorship, and struggles to find him. It becomes a life journey for her regarding her dedication to her family and what comes out of her pathos.
O meu marido está em perigo.
Todo mundo está em perigo, Eunice. A comunidade internacional está de olho nessa história.
O Estado tem questões mais urgentes do que tentar remediar o passado?
Não.
Walter Salles directs Torres with the right intensity, and he tries not to take the easy way out of things. In fact, he makes some smart choices about how to present this true story and how to express the themes on a timely basis. I'm Still Here can be thrilling, but it also can be emotional, especially when the film wisely chooses to use words and not glamorize it for American audiences. Obviously, I'm an American film critic, but I still admire what the film is trying to accomplish, and it succeeds very well. It's one of the best international films to come out last year. Recapping this week's new movies: thumbs down for Flight Risk, thumbs up for Presence, thumbs down for Back in Action, thumbs up for September 5, and thumbs way up for I'm Still Here. Well, those are the new movies I'm reviewing this week. I'm Christopher Zweig. Stay safe, and I'll see you at the movies.